The cameras flashed. The crowd froze. And just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession, a 14-year-old girl staring down a sea of flashing lights, redefining the biggest night in fashion.
Yeah, it was one of those rare crystallized moments where the entire pop culture ecosystem just collectively held its breath.
Welcome to your Starscope Report Deep Dive. Join us as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral pop culture moments.
From red carpet surprises to the stories behind the fame, we're diving deep.
And today, we're deconstructing a night that completely broke the internet, the 2026 Met Gala. But more specifically, the Carter family's absolute masterclass and legacy.
Right, because to figure out how a 14-year-old managed to shift the entire center of gravity at the most exclusive event of the year, we couldn't just look at the red carpet photos.
No, definitely not.
We dug into eyewitness accounts from E! News, body language breakdowns from Tyla, and high fashion analysis from Vogue and Elite Daily.
So our mission today is unpacking the viral moments we all saw on our feeds and the deeply emotional behind-the-scenes reality that the cameras almost missed.
Exactly.
I feel like the Met Gala is constantly described as Hollywood's ultimate prom, but I actually hate that analogy. It doesn't capture the sheer mechanics of the night at all.
Oh, not even a little bit.
Right. The Met Gala guest list isn't just a VIP section. It's a geopolitical map of pop culture, and Anna Wintour is the border patrol. Getting a 14-year-old through those doors requires serious diplomatic immunity.
That is a much more accurate way to frame it, because the very first hurdle here is the fact that a 14-year-old being on that staircase is technically a massive rule violation.
Yeah, the Met Gala has a notoriously strict 18 and over age rule. So how does a young teenager end up completely shutting down the red carpet?
Well, to understand the mechanics of this, we have to look back at 2018. The theme that year was Heavenly Bodies, and the organizers made a very firm executive decision to implement an 18-plus age restriction.
Wow, they explicitly stated that.
Yeah, they explicitly stated that the gala was simply not an appropriate event for people under 18. I mean, it's a high-stress adult environment.
Right, for sure.
It's a fundraising dinner with alcohol, intense media scrutiny, and incredibly complex restrictive clothing.
I actually remember when that rule was enforced. Maddie Ziegler, the dancer who was everywhere in those Sia videos, she was 15 at the time.
Oh, right, she was barred from going, wasn't she?
Exactly. She spoke publicly about how she was invited by a designer, but the Met organizers stepped in and said absolutely not. Wintour does not bend the rules for just anyone.
No, she doesn't. But, as with any geopolitical border, there are loopholes if you have the right passport.
Or the right parents.
Exactly. This year's theme was costume art, or fashion is art. And Beyoncé was returning to the Met steps for the first time in an entire decade. But she wasn't just an attendee.
No, she was a co-chair for the evening, alongside Anna Wintour, Nicole Kidman, and Venus Williams, which is a completely different tier of access.
Yeah, being a co-chair isn't just an honorary title where you show up, smile, and look pretty for the cameras.
Not at all.
The co-chairs are heavily involved in the architecture of the evening. They oversee the guest list, the interior design, the menu. Because of that elevated status, there is a special exception chaperone rule.
Ah, so it essentially allows the co-chairs to bring their minor children.
Precisely. And it wasn't just Beyoncé and Jay-Z utilizing this loophole. Nicole Kidman brought her 17-year-old daughter, Sunday Rose, too.
But because Blue Ivy was willing to be chaperoned, she instantly became one of the youngest Met Gala attendees in modern history. The stage is set. The rules have been effectively rewritten.
And then they actually arrived.
Yeah.
And the visual impact of their entrance it cannot be overstated.
Let's visualize this, because the fashion choices are doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. Blue Ivy steps out, and she does not look like a kid playing dress-up in her mom's closet.
No, not at all.
She is wearing a stunning white Pierpaolo Piccioli for Balenciaga midi gown. And what makes this brilliant is the bubble hemline.
Yeah, it feels youthful.
Right, almost like a nod to an 80s prom dress.
Yeah.
But over that, she's wearing an off-the-shoulder unzipped white bomber jacket, plus dark oval sunglasses and these sparkling Cinderella-like silver heels.
It's just the perfect synthesis of teenage defiance and haute couture. Balenciaga under Piccioli is all about architectural volume.
Oh, absolutely.
So by pairing a high-fashion gown with a streetwear staple like a bomber jacket, she's signaling that she respects the institution of the Met, but she refuses to be stiff or overly formal.
And then standing next to her, you have Beyoncé, making her first appearance at that iconic latex Givenchy gown in 2016, a 10-year hiatus.
A decade. And she took the fashion as art dress code incredibly literally. She wore a spectacular, sheer, skeleton-inspired naked gown by Olivia Risting.
Oh, wow, Roasting from Balmain.
Yes, and he is known for his armor-like, hyper-detailed designs. So putting Beyoncé in a dress covered in crystals that give the illusion of bones isn't just a spooky aesthetic choice.
It's a structural statement about stripping an icon down to her core.
Exactly. She paired it with matching bone-adorned gloves, a shimmering crystal headpiece, and this massive, dramatic, furry gray ombre coat with a train that practically cascaded down the museum steps.
And Jay-Z rounded out the trio in Louis Vuitton black suit with a tail jacket. But I want to pause on the psychology of that staircase.
Okay, let's hear it.
Tyler recently published a piece featuring a body language expert in Ball Honigman, who broke down their walk up the steps.
Right, I read that.
She pointed out that Beyoncé took these fearless, measured steps, long strides, waving to the photographers almost as if they were her own personal fans.
Yes, Honigman's analysis suggested that Beyoncé was completely secure in her power, but she noted that Blue Ivy's body language told a slightly different story.
Right, like what?
Well, Honigman pointed out that while Blue Ivy's poses were polished, she had the lowered chin, the hands on hips, her nerves kind of gave her away. She supposedly kept nervously fidgeting with her jacket and glancing from side to side.
Wait, I have to push back on this expert reading here. She's 14 years old, standing on the most intimidating, highly scrutinized red carpet in the entire world.
That is a very fair critique.
Isn't fidgeting with a heavy bomber jacket just a normal physical reflex? Why do we immediately jump to diagnosing it as deep psychological insecurity?
I agree. The industry has a really bad habit of overanalyzing the micro-movements of women, and especially young girls, in the spotlight. However, the immense psychological weight of that staircase is undeniable.
Oh, for sure. You are surrounded by hundreds of screaming photographers, blinding flashes, and the knowledge that millions of people are judging your outfit in real time.
Exactly. Whether she was genuinely anxious or just adjusting the fit of her coat, the pressure cooker environment is very real.
But Blue Ivy's confidence was about to be tested by those paparazzi and her own billionaire dad. And that's not even the wildest part.
Which brings us to the moment that absolutely hijacked social media algorithms everywhere, the sunglasses standoff.
I've watched this clip 20 times. Picture this. You're on the red carpet. The photographers are rabid. They were literally shouting, "Blue, take off the glasses. We need the eyes."
Yeah, according to fan-recorded video picked up by the Express Tribune, the event staff and the photographers were relentlessly pressuring her to remove these dark, oval sunglasses.
It's intense.
It is, but it's standard practice for paparazzi. They want clear, unobstructed eye contact for the photos to sell to magazines.
But she just refuses. She stands her ground, and then Jay-Z physically walks over to her on the carpet and gestures for her to take the sunglasses off.
Which is just such a dad move.
Right. I don't care who your parents are. To a 14-year-old girl, your dad is still just your dad, and he is currently ruining the vibe of your outfit.
Her response is what made it go viral, though. She doesn't argue, she doesn't throw a tantrum. She coolly motions toward the top of the stairs.
Yeah, she completely asserted her independence, basically communicating, I will take them off, but on my own timeline when I reach the top.
And let's deconstruct the PR mechanics of what happened next, because it is fascinating. Jay-Z's reaction is everything here.
It really is.
If Jay-Z looks angry in that moment, or if he actually pulls the glasses off her face, the headlines the next day are entirely about a controlling father and a family in conflict.
Exactly. Instead, he steps back. He stands at the bottom of the stairs with their publicist, Yvette Knowles-Shore, and they just start laughing.
He beams like a proud dad.
He does. He even gives the photographers a thumbs up before walking up to help his daughter with the rest of the steps. By doing that, he instantly diffuses the tension and hands the viral moment entirely over to Blue Ivy. It's masterclass level image management.
It really is. It humanizes them in a way that highly orchestrated red carpet moments rarely do. It showed a family dynamic built on respect, where a father gives his teenage daughter the space to make her own styling choices.
Even under the intense glare of the global media.
Right, and the internet just flows with praise for her relatable teenage boundaries.
If you're loving these behind-the-scenes Hollywood twists, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead. Because Blue Ivy's assertion of boundaries on the red carpet was actually mirroring a massive emotional shift happening inside the gala with Beyoncé herself.
Yeah, we're so used to Beyoncé projecting absolute invulnerability. She is the armored queen. But the cracks in that armor were showing before she even made it inside the museum.
She did a quick interview with Lala Anthony for the Vogue live stream at the top of the stairs, and if you watch closely, when Beyoncé starts talking about Blue Ivy, her chin physically shakes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's aggressively blinking back tears. She calls the night surreal and says it's incredible to be able to share it with her beautiful daughter.
But once the doors closed and the cameras were supposedly gone, the untouchable Queen Bey experienced a complete emotional breakdown.
This is where we have to rely on eyewitness accounts, and the best one comes from Hugh Jackman.
Wait, really?
Yeah, he was interviewed on the Today Show. He attended the gala with Sutton Foster, and he essentially pulled back the curtain on the most private part of the night.
Jackman called it the greatest people-watching experience of his life, which, coming from a Met Gala veteran, carries a lot of weight.
Definitely.
He explained that inside the Temple of Denver, the massive room where the dinner is held, pop star Sabrina Carpenter got up to perform. And as a surprise, she brought out Fleetwood Mac legend Stevie Nicks.
And what do they sing? The Fleetwood Mac classic, Landslide. Now, I need to pause here because the song choice is devastatingly perfect.
Completely.
If you know the lyrics to Landslide, you understand why this broke Beyoncé. I've been afraid of changing because I've built my life around you. It is a song deeply rooted in the passage of time.
And the bittersweet nature of change.
Exactly. And watching children grow older and leave the nest. I cannot think of a more emotionally heavy song to listen to while sitting next to your teenage daughter who just declared her independence on the red carpet.
It's an incredibly potent mirror effect. Jackman said he looked over to where Rihanna and Beyoncé were sitting, and Beyoncé was just completely overtaken by emotion.
Wow.
She was crying openly, and Jackman noted she was hitting Blue Ivy's hand in this pure, overwhelming emotional release. He called the moment priceless.
Think about the generational layers overlapping in that exact moment. You have Stevie Nicks, the ultimate rock icon, passing the baton to Sabrina Carpenter, the current massive young pop star.
Right.
And Beyoncé is watching this happen on stage while sitting next to her own daughter, who is taking her first real, autonomous steps into that exact same world. It's profoundly poetic.
It's a stark reminder of how fast time moves in the music industry, but of course, you would think the internet would just let this be a beautiful, poignant mother-daughter moment.
Oh, but this is the Bayhive we were talking about.
Exactly. To them, vulnerability is just another puzzle to solve.
They operate like forensic analysts. They couldn't just stay in their feelings. They had to start hunting for Easter eggs. So let's dive into the fan theories, because people noticed something very specific about that Olivier Rousteing skeleton dress.
Beyoncé told Vogue the dress was a salute to all bodies, playing into the costume art theme. But eagle-eyed fans realized the dress bears a striking structural resemblance to a look she wore 23 years ago.
Back in 2003, on her Dangerously in Love solo tour, fan accounts immediately posted side-by-side comparisons.
Right, the crystal placements, the silhouette, it's uncannily similar.
And this immediately ignited a massive wave of speculation about her highly anticipated Act 3 album.
To give some context, her recent musical eras have been highly structured. Act 1, Renaissance, was her deep dive into the history of dance and house music. Act 2, Cowboy Carter, was a massive reclamation of the black roots of country music.
And for years, the prevailing theory among music critics has been that Act 3 is going to be a rock album. And that rock theory makes sense. She previously dabbled in the genre with her 2016 song Don't Hurt Yourself from the Lemonade album, collaborating with Jack White.
But seeing this skeleton dress referencing her 2003 R&B era, the fan theories started wildly pivoting.
People are asking, wait, is Act 3 going to be a return to R&B? Or even crazier, is a skeleton dress a symbol of the end? Like, is she stripping it down to the bones because this is her final album entirely?
I think this raises a fascinating point about how we consume celebrity narratives today. We are conditioned to believe everything is a clue.
We really are.
We want every fashion choice to be a piece of a grand, solvable puzzle. But sometimes a dress is simply a beautiful piece of art chosen for a specific gala theme.
See, I completely disagree with you there. With Beyoncé, is anything ever just a coincidence? Is a dress ever just a dress?
Well,
Her entire career over the last decade has been a beautifully orchestrated cinematic universe where every single outfit, every Instagram post, every lyric is a deliberate clue. She doesn't do accidental references.
it's a valid argument considering her history of intense visual storytelling. But if there is a master plan, her team is determined to keep the timeline hidden.
Interesting.
Yeah, Yvette Noel-Schur, Beyoncé's longtime publicist, actually had to take to social media to address the mounting rumors that Act 3 was already 100% complete and ready to drop imminently.
Did she leave any room for interpretation?
None whatsoever. She was incredibly blunt, calling the rumors about the album being finished unequivocally false. She completely shut it down.
Okay, so the album isn't dropping tomorrow, but you know the fans are still going to analyze every single crystal on that dress for the next 6 months. Later, we'll leave you with a final thought about what this entire night actually signifies for the future of pop royalty.
When you step back and look at the totality of this event, the broken rules to get a 14-year-old inside, the viral standoff with the paparazzi, the emotional breakdown during landslide, the historical fashion references, it paints a very specific, undeniable picture of where the Carter family is heading.
It really was so much more than just a red carpet return. It felt like we were watching a generational passing of the torch, broadcast live to the entire world.
That is the crucial takeaway. For over 2 decades, Beyoncé has been the untouchable global icon, the literal standard of perfection in the music industry. But at the 2026 Met Gala, we witnessed a profound structural shift.
We saw Beyoncé, the emotional, guiding mother. She wasn't there to promote a project or assert her own dominance. She was there to hold the door open for her daughter.
Exact.
She actively made room for the next era. And seeing her cry during Landslide, just holding Blue Ivy's hand, it's the most raw and human we've seen her in years.
It bridges the gap between the mythic, untouchable figure of Beyoncé and the universal reality of a parent realizing their child is growing up and stepping into the spotlight on their own terms.
It really does.
It leaves you wondering, are we watching the final chapter of one legendary pop dynasty or just the prologue to Blue Ivy's?
That is the ultimate question. Will Blue Ivy take up the mantle of the music industry? Or will she carve a completely different path entirely? Either way, she has already shown the world she's going to do it with her sunglasses on, completely on her own timeline. Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.
But before you go, just think back to that image on the stairs. The flashbulbs popping, the crowd screaming, the rigid rules meant to keep teenagers out being effortlessly rewritten by a 14-year-old girl in a bubble hem gown. It makes you wonder, in an industry that constantly demands you change to fit its mold, what happens when you finally have the power to make the mold change for you?